Hey everyone, and welcome to the Beyond Life and Fitness podcast. I'm Cheryl Patton.
And I'm Meaghan Prince.
We started this podcast as a way to connect with more people who are struggling to fit it all in. The workouts, the food, kids, work, and relationships.
We know that we're not perfect, but we hope that through our struggles and our mistakes and our failures and our successes that we can help more people through their challenges and be successful. So if you want some tips and tricks to help you along your journey to be the best version of yourself, then this is it.
Welcome to episode number 1. We are super excited to be doing this, and today we're going to do a little bit of an intro podcast so that you can learn a little bit more of who we are. So we're going to do a little bit of a who, what, where, and why with each of us so you can get to know us a little bit better, and then we'll go from there. So
Totally. I'm totally ready.
Okay, so we'll start really simple. Who are you? Even though we've already introduced ourselves once.
So I'm Meaghan Prince. I'm a single mom of 3 little girls, currently homeschooling 3 little children and doing fitness stuff on the side. And I have a cleaning business, and yeah, that is about what I'm doing right now. About a million things.
That is a lot. Homeschooling is a lot. So where do you do your your fitness stuff on the side? Like, is it, you're online, right?
Yeah, so everything I do right now is online. So I think I shifted that about 10 years ago, working in a gym to working with people online, because for me, I do love the hands-on stuff, but I think for me to be able to touch more people and to be able to be there to guide them a little bit more, the online stuff is a better platform for me. I found that training clients, you'd see them once or twice a week, and then you weren't really in control of in between those sessions with them. So I found that the online coaching for me really gives me the ability to really be hands-on with clients and help them through all like the struggles and all of the things that outside of the gym that they're struggling with, and that will help to get them the results that they want.
How many clients do you have right now online, give or take?
So usually it's between like 5 or 10. I usually keep clients pretty low because I want to be able to really focus on having conversations with them, following up with them. Sometimes we'll do Zoom calls, sometimes we'll do conference calls if they ever need help with stuff. So I think anywhere between 5 or 10, I usually keep it at.
Yeah, a doable number for sure. And then why do you do fitness? What kind of let's reword this. Why did you get into fitness? Why do you love it so much? And why do you feel drawn to coach people in fitness?
Okay, so I think it started when in my childhood, both of my parents were swim coaches. So they would wake up every morning, go to the, my dad was the head coach. And so I think fitness was kind of ingrained in me since I was a child, and my mom would be working out down in the basement, or my parents we'd be at swimming meets like every single weekend. So I think fitness just surrounded me all the time. So that was something that I just always incorporated into my life. And then when I really started focusing on my eating habits and being really consistent with things, I just felt like I was better in everything in my life. I felt like things changed in my life when I felt better about myself. I started competing 15 years ago, and that kind of just started my fitness journey on being able to up-level my health and push myself and do things that I hadn't really done before. So I think fitness has just always been a part of my life, and the way that I feel when I'm in the gym, when I feel good about myself, when I'm fueling my body properly, when I'm a role model for my 3 girls at home, that is the reason that I help people, because I want people to be able to feel and live the life that I'm living right now. Because I feel so many women, even men that I talk to, are living this life where they don't have time for things, where they are constantly running, they're constantly stressed out, they're overwhelmed, and they just feel like they don't have any time to even take care of themselves at all. So I think for me, it's trying to help people get that feeling where they can do anything, and to be able to change those little tiny things in your life, I think changes every single avenue of your life.
Yep, 100% agree. Now, did you swim competitively since your parents were swim coaches? You did.
Yeah, so I swam competitively for a couple years, but definitely swimming is still something that I'm super drawn to. Like, I walk into a pool and I smell the chlorine, and I still, when I was pregnant with my first and my second, actually, I would go to the pool like 5 days a week and swim like 100 laps. And that was just like my, it just felt so good on my body. And it felt like when you're at the gym, everything was stretching and hurting and tight and whatever. But for me, getting into the pool and is like this, I don't know, it just brings back so many memories of when I was a kid. And, yeah, so I love swimming. I love the pool. It would be something that I would love to incorporate back into my life at some point, for sure.
Yeah, I did a lot of swimming laps when I was pregnant with my first. Yeah, the buoyancy of the water. It feels good.
Yeah, so good. And I feel like I stayed so, like, I was able to keep the baby weight off, but also not hurt my body, not hurt my muscles, and also not push myself, like, too much in the gym.
Yeah. Awesome. All right.
Okay, so on to you. Who are you?
So, I am a mom to 3 kids. Been married for almost 24 years, which is crazy. It is. Yeah. I've got 3 kids. They are almost 24, 21, and 15. So figure that one out. Yes, time has definitely flown by. So that is kind of who I am, as well as I've been in the fitness industry now for almost 21 years. And same thing as a kid. It always starts back in the childhood years, right? So I did synchro skating for many, many years, and then I got involved in school sports. So I remember in elementary school, volleyball was definitely my go-to, and then I did a little bit of all the other track, and I did a little bit of softball. I kind of tried them all, basically. And then once I hit high school, I did volleyball. At that point, we had 5 years of high school, so I did volleyball all 5 years. I did basketball for 3 years. I did track just in grade 9, and it was in grade 11 when I started working out in the gym, and never looked back.
Right? Once you get that gym pass, I'm like, that is it. I don't think I've ever not had a gym pass. And we lived in Taiwan for a year, and I found the gym. Like, we were in a town where nobody even spoke English, and I figured out how to say gym in Mandarin, and I found the gym in this little tiny, like, basement thing. But I was like, no, I need to do this. So once you find the gym, I think, and you find that empowerment, right? There's nothing to compare to it. So I think you just...
So I used the high school gym, and then once I went to university, then I used the university gym, and I went through for kinesiology. And then as soon as I graduated, then I started working at a big box gym in London. And then when I was on my second mat leave, I had a family friend ask if I would go to her home and start training her in her home. So then that's when the idea sparked. So still working at the gym, but at that time it was strictly as an aerobics instructor. So I was just teaching classes and then doing the one-on-one stuff on the side. And then once that kind of got going and building up, then I stopped working at the gym and have been on my own. So and now I just keep building up my own home gym.
Right. And your home gym is awesome.
So that's, I guess, who my who is. That's what my who is. So I do all my training. So I train clients in person at my studio. I train them in their home still. So there's still a handful of clients I go out to, and now online, because online is now an even bigger thing after the pandemic. So there's 3 different ways that people can work with me, either one-on-one or in groups. And the why that I do it, I guess when I started doing my own training and just really fell in love with it and learning how certain exercises and doing certain things in certain orders or tempos or intensity, etc., like how it just changes, like how you can just change your body, right? And then learning more and more about nutrition, and still continuing to learn more about nutrition. And when I did my first fitness show, that was a huge learning curve with fitness, and a lot of people would ask, why put yourself through that? And I'm sure you maybe had the same questions come your way, but maybe not. Like, why do this? Why put yourself through this torture? And I'm like, if you can put your mind or commit to something that requires that much effort, you got to learn something out of the process.
Oh my gosh.
Right? Like you really learn where your limits are, and if you can push those limits and boundaries, and you really get to see how far you can push your physique.
No, it's so fun.
Yeah.
People look at us and be like, what is wrong with you? But
yeah.
I think
that's the extreme.
Yeah. And I think that has to come from so deep down inside of you that it's that you're doing it for you. Yeah. And I think that's the same with any fitness program and fitness goals and fitness journey, is that it can't come from the outside. It can't come from wanting validation from looking good on the beach, or from people that are thinking, oh my gosh, you look so good, or whatever. The fitness journey for sure has to come from so deep down inside of you that you want it for you. And what are those emotional reasons that you want to do that for you? And I think for so long, for 15 years, I trained for those fitness shows for myself and my own, only for myself. It wasn't to win trophies. It wasn't to be better than anybody else. It was truly like super just for me. And then I think it was my last 2 shows where I felt it, where it was like, I just wasn't feeling it anymore. I just was like, I'm not doing this for the right reasons anymore. And the motivation and the excitement wasn't there anymore. So I think those goals that give you that excitement and that drive and the passion that you're so passionate about, then those are the goals that you have to go after.
Yeah.
Right?
And I would say too, for definitely the majority of people that I have worked with, that I continue to work with, that are in my groups, the initial reasons of wanting to look better or have your clothes fit better, I think are okay as your initial motivations.
For sure.
And then as you get the ball rolling, right? Because motivation doesn't last forever, because life is going to pop in. So if you don't have habits in place, then the motivation's not going to keep you going. So I think for when people say, you know what, I don't like how the muffin top is going over the top of my pants, or I don't like how my thighs rub together when I'm in my bathing suit, or you can come up with a million different things. I think that's a good place to start. But yes, you then have to start digging deeper, because what happens then when a kid gets sick and now you can't go and work out for 2, 3, 4 days, maybe even a week, or you go on vacation? What happens? So yeah, you definitely, I think you can start with the superficial, but then you got to start peeling those layers to keep those habits going, to keep getting those habits stronger, and keep going forward with whatever your health, fitness, physique goals happen to be. And that's the thing too, like that's why I kind of got into what I do, because I get such a, like, it's so awesome when you see somebody all of a sudden go, oh my gosh, I just held that plank for the entire time, I didn't have to drop to my knees, or they finally got to do that first push-up off their toes, or you know, they went up in weight for whatever reason. They've been stuck at 10 pounds and then they finally got up to 12 or 15. Like, it's just like, see, you just gotta keep going. And it will happen. So I heard a phrase once, and it's like, people want microwave results in a crock pot world. Right? Like, everybody wants it now, because that's what we're used to, right? We've got phones at our disposal that we can access whatever information we want in an instant. But in order to get healthy, in shape, it's not instant. It takes time.
And I keep saying to people, right, that when you start with me, I need you to know that your results are not going to be fast enough.
Yeah.
They're not going to be fast enough. So I need you to enjoy the journey. Be blessed for the fact that you can work out today. There's a lot of people that can't wake up and work out and go to the gym, that have that even the ability to even pay for a gym or walk for some people, right? So I'm like, be blessed for the fact that you can wake up and you can work out. But I need you to know that your results are not going to be fast enough, because yeah, you're right. Everybody wants those results. They want them now. And I think when you're first starting to set that goal, and I was talking to somebody yesterday about it, I want to work out. I want to get muscles for the summer. I want to look really good for the summer. I want to look good for the beach. I'm like, that's awesome. Like, let's just start. No, I can't, because I have a couple things in my life that I need to just figure out first. But this has been an ongoing conversation with us for about 6 months now.
Yeah, so the excuses.
And I said, well, you don't really want it bad enough. Yeah, I do want it bad enough, but I just need to figure some other things out. And I said, here's the thing. There is always going to be things that you need to figure out. You can't put fitness and health on the back burner, because I said, and this was my like aha moment, when you start incorporating fitness and health into your life, all those other things that you think you need to figure out are going to figure themselves out, because you're feeling better. Those things aren't getting themselves figured out after 6 months, because you're not taking care of yourself and you're not putting time into yourself. So I was like, why don't you think about it backwards? Just start on the journey. Start like eating healthier, working out 3 times a week. Like, it doesn't have to be hours and hours a week, 3 times a week, 2 times a week, whatever, more than you were doing before. And then all the other things that you think are bothering you or ruining your life, or that you need to change or getting in the way of everything, those things will just simply go away, because you're focused on things that are bettering yourself and your life.
Yeah, 100% agree. Yeah. And sometimes clients will come in, they'll be all frustrated because they only showed up once. And I'm like, well, once is better than none. Right? You kept it going. So, and that's all that matters. Life is going to keep throwing you. And I sometimes recommend start something when you're at the hardest point of your life.
100%.
Right?
Yes.
When you are so overwhelmed, bogged down, stressed out.
Yes.
That's when you start. That's when you get going.
Yes. And I remember like last April, and we'll go on probably about this in many podcasts from now, but I decided, after all health issues and a million things, that I was finally ready, and I was off on anti-anxiety meds. And last April, I was like, okay, I'm going off these things. I'm ready to go. This is awesome. I got this. And so then 2 weeks later, we go into our 3rd lockdown. And I said to my mom, oh my gosh, like perfect timing to go off anti-anxiety meds when you're going into a 3rd lockdown and you have your kids at home. But I thought to myself, you know what, Meg, if you can get through this right now, like this is the hardest thing you possibly could be thrown in your face, and the universe is saying to you, like, you got this. If you can get through this, then the rest is going to be easy. So you're right. Starting a fitness journey, why don't you start it when you have really hard things going on in your life? Because later on, I promise you, when you start that fitness journey, the things that you're worried about and bothering you and stressing you out right now are just going to go away, because you're going to start choosing things that bring you joy instead of choosing those things that stress you out. And sometimes we're choosing those things that stress us out to keep in our life, because then we don't actually have to achieve our goals, because it can just be excuses.
It keeps you in your comfort zone.
Keeps you in your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone, because I know getting out of your comfort zone is so scary, but I think I've learned the most, the things that scare me, the things that make me nervous, the things that I am second guessing about. It all just comes down to just do it, Meg, because those are the things that you need to do. The things that I'm not excited about and don't bring me joy, it's like, it's easy to just sit in that space, right? Because it's your comfort zone. We always want to go back to our comfort zone. And if we just go, just do it. And you're right. Start your fitness journey in the hardest point of your life.
Yeah.
I think that's an amazing way to look at it.
Because it's
clients.
totally true. Like once you get going, everything else will start to fall into place.
Yeah, and all the other things that you think are holding you back from your fitness journey are actually going to be the things that get cleared up because you're on your fitness journey.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So it's like, just do it. Just get it out. And he knows me. And he was like, I guess I can't use that excuse with you. And I was like, no, you can't use that excuse with me. Because I'm going to tell you 1,000,000 times over that the second that you start your fitness journey, your life is going to change. So you won't be worried about all these things. So I was like, just do it. Set up and I was like, you have people that you have people that can train you. Reach out, start, even if it's 20 minutes a day of walking and counting your water, 1 habit a day, or having an apple, like whatever it is, tiny, tiny, tiny little baby steps. But you're right, just start it during the hardest time in your life because I think that's where that's where you need it the most. Yeah.
And then once you get going, so say for example, right, it is that one, like that 20-minute walk every day, get that habit down and then stack that habit with something else. All right. So we got that one down. What's the next thing that you think that you can tackle and be consistent with? Is it having a protein at every meal? Perfect. Let's just deal with that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about anything else. So now we got 2 things under control. Okay. What's the next thing that we can start stacking on? So we got to break it down into these small bite size, but people just, again, they want these microwave results in a crock pot world, and it doesn't happen. No. It doesn't happen. It's never going to happen. So people just have to start, they got to see that big picture. And when they see people on Instagram or Facebook or any type of social media platform, right? They take years to get into those type of physique conditions.
Right.
And then not only that, are they in that physique condition because they leaned out for a photo shoot, right? And they just keep recycling those pictures. So you can't use Instagram as your focus. I think that's the word I'm trying to say.
No, and I think, just focus on doing those little tiny things on a daily basis and totally start when you don't want to start. I think start in the hardest time of your life. Yeah. And I think that is where you will find your magic.
I think so. I think that's a good place to end too.
I think it's an awesome place to end.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to episode 1, and we will see you or hear you or talk to you, I should say, in the next podcast. Thanks everybody for listening today, and we truly appreciate you. And let us know what your biggest takeaway was today, and if you have any questions you want answered on the podcast. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast to automatically receive your episodes and to help us reach more listeners. We would love to connect with you on our socials, either Facebook or Instagram, with links in the show notes. Till next time, keep taking those small steps towards your best life.